Good morning to all of you. You are with Bindu Chaudhary and we are continuing our history class. Our past part 3rd chapter 10th, the last chapter of this one, India after independence. Today we are going on our part 4th. Just recall the previous one, what happened in our previous part, students. Yes, in the previous part we had discussed about the formation of states in our India in the year 1956. But before 1956, what happened on 1st October 1953? Yes, Sri Mullu, one of the linguistic striker, was there and he was died on demanding the linguistic state for the Telugu peoples. So on his demand, Andhra was found, but later on other linguistic states also demanded for their own linguistic states, and for that one what happened, a new committee was formed, and in the year 1956 states were divided as per linguistic basis, and on that basis near out in the year 1975 what happened, all the states had their own language, all the states had their own culture and tradition. And what was going on the other side of our India? Yes, on the development part of India, because in the starting chapter we had read about the unity development with the economic development of India. So formation was near about complete, but later on economic development, many bridges were formed and many other things also formed for the betterment of our India. So in this chapter, planning for development, we are discussing here lifting India and Indians out of poverty and building a modern technical and industrial base were among the major objectives of the new nation. New nation had many objectives for the betterment of India, and in that step we had poverty, removing of poverty, and the modern technical and industrial development was also there, only and only for the benefit of our nation. So in the year 1950, the government of a planning commission to help design and execute suitable policies फॉर इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट. अब बच्चों जब बात की जाती है कि हमारे यहाँ पे योजना आयोग प्लानिंग कमीशन का सेटअप कब किया गया था, तो बच्चों आपके दिमाग में बिल्कुल क्लियर आ जानी चाहिए. इन द ईयर 1950 the setup of planning commission was held, and only for the betterment of the suitable policies for the economic development, etc. So there was a broad agreement on what was called a mixed economic model. और यहाँ पे योजना आयोग के समक्ष एक नया जो प्लानिंग कमीशन है उसके सामने एक नया फॉर्मेशन बनाया गया, और वह फॉर्मेशन, वह मॉडल क्या था, मिक्स्ड इकोनॉमी मॉडल कहलाया गया था. एक एग्रीमेंट किया गया था उस समय. एंड सी दिस वन इज आल्सो द part of development of India. This picture shows the work going on at the Gandhi Sagar Bandh. As we had discussed about the previous Mahanadi river, this focused strongly on the development of heavy industries such as steel and on the building of large dams. So many things focused by the private sectors as well as the state sectors for the betterment of India and for the development of industries such as steel industries, such as the building of large dams on the rivers. So these sectors would be under the control of the states. Who managed these works? These works were managed by the state, not by the private sector on that time. So this focus on heavy industries and efforts at state regulation of the economy was to guide economic policies for the next few decades. और अगले अगली कई शताब्दियों तक भी किस पे ज़्यादा ध्यान दिया गया बच्चों? इंडस्ट्रीज़ के डेवलपमेंट पे ध्यान दिया गया। इंडस्ट्रीज़ अगर होंगी तो वहाँ पे न्यू जॉब्स होंगे, न्यू जॉब्स होंगे तो हमारी जो इकोनॉमी है वो अंडरस्टूड है कि डेवलपमेंट बेटर होगा वहाँ पे। सम फेल्ट दैट इट हैड पुट इनएडिक्वेट एम्फेसिस ऑन एग्रीकल्चर, और लोगों को ये भी लगता था कि भैया इंडस्ट्रीज़ पे तो आप पॉइंट आउट कर ही रहे हैं, आपको एग्रीकल्चर पे भी तो पॉइंट आउट करना चाहिए, बिकॉज मोस्ट ऑफ द पब्लिक लिव्ड इन आवर रूरल एरियाज। सो एग्रीकल्चर पे भी एम्फेसिस देने की बहुत ज़्यादा आवश्यकता महसूस करी जा रही थी। Others argue that it had neglected primary education. And one more thing arose on that time in the mind of the public. What? Industries and agriculture with the primary education. So they thought that primary education is also the basic need for the development of country. So as Mahatma Gandhi's follower Meera Behan wrote in the year 1949, by science and machinery, he means, it means mankind, public, may get huge returns from a time, but ultimately will come dissolution. आप साइंस का यूज़ कर लीजिए, आप मशीनरी का यूज़ कर लीजिए, इट्स ओके, यू गॉट योर बेटरमेंट, बट व्हाट हैपन्स? मीरा बहन 1949 में लिखती हैं कि इसके अलावा भी बहुत चीज़ें हैं जिनके ऊपर ध्यान देने की ज़रूरत महसूस की जाती है, और यह ज़रूरत बताती है अबाउट द प्राइमरी एजुकेशन इज़ आल्सो नीडेड. सो वी हैव गॉट टू स्टडी नेचर्स बैलेंस and develop our lives within her laws if we are to survive as a physically healthy and morally decent species. So with the agriculture, with industries, with moral primary education, what other needs was there about the studies of the nature's balance, and with the help of the nature how we develop our lives. So to protect this nature is also the main thing. So if we need to be physically healthy, then it's a better way to preserve our nature and regulate our laws with the nature. Again a picture of Jawaharlal Nehru at the Bhilai steel plant, as we just discussed about the industries development. So industries development was there, and our Prime Minister also took initiative on the betterment of industries. So this was the formation time. But what after 60 years of our India? What was going on in the year 2007? See here, on 15th August 2007, India celebrated 60 years of its existence as a फ्री नेशन. 2007 में ऐसा टाइम आया जब भारत जो है अपनी आज़ादी की 60वीं वर्षगांठ मना रहा था, और उस समय भी क्या क्या हो चुका था देखिए. हाउ वेल हैज़ द कंट्री डन इन दिस टाइम बिटवीन 60 years. What was going on with the public, with the industries, with the organizations, with the education, with the other things also, agriculture, etc. So, and to what extent has it fulfilled the ideals set out in its constitution? जो constitution में कुछ ideals बहुत ही ज़्यादा हम कह सकते हैं पुअर पब्लिक के लिए, भले अपर क्लास के लिए जो आइडल सेट किए गए थे, what was going on, they fulfilled or not? What happened to that one also? So many foreign observers had felt that India could not survive as a single country, that it would break into many parts with each region or linguistic group seeking to form a nation of its own. So it's okay, we Indians divided ourselves as the linguistic states formation. Different states had different languages, but the critics or the foreign observers, they thought that India could not survive as a single country because India itself divided into many regions or linguistic groups. and they all seeking nation for its own, not for the one nation for its own state. So others believed that it would come under military rule. So others had a different concept. They thought that it's okay, India is not doing better, so military rule will be there for the betterment of India. However, as many as 13 general elections have been held since independence, as well as hundreds of state and local elections. हुआ क्या था, इतना टाइम अप टू 2007 नियर अबाउट 13 इलेक्शंस हो चुके थे. 13 इलेक्शंस के अलावा, जनरल इलेक्शंस के अलावा स्टेट इलेक्शंस एंड लोकल इलेक्शंस भी हो चुके थे. देयर इज़ अ फ्री प्रेस एज वेल एज एन इंडिपेंडेंट जुडिशरी. इट्स ओके, betterment was there in the field of free press side, in the field of judiciary side, in the field of agriculture, in the field of industries, in the field of education. Finally, the fact that people speak different languages or practice different faiths has not come in the way of national unity. This question always arises in the different peoples in their minds that it's okay, we are divided into the different languages and practice different faiths also. आपको पता है कि हर जो स्टेट है उनके खुद के अलग कल्चर और ट्रेडिशंस है, उनकी लैंग्वेज है, उनका क्लोथिंग वियर है, उनका फूडिंग है. तो क्या होता है, कई जो ऐसे कंसेप्ट्स उभर के आते हैं वहाँ पे ये बताया जाता है बच्चों कि अभी तक भी हम एक जो नेशनल यूनिटी चाहते हैं वो अच्छी नेशनल यूनिटी अभी तक फॉर्मेशन में नहीं आ पाई है. As many observers have noted, the gulf between the rich and the poor has grown over the years. It's okay, before independence, divisibility of society was there, but what happened after independence, students? Yes, after independence, after 60 years of our free nation, still we have a big gulf between the upper class and lower class, and this gulf was not ended at present also. हम कहते हैं वहाँ ख़त्म हो गया होगा, वहाँ पे जो सामाजिक भेदभाव है वहाँ ख़त्म हो गया होगा, but still it is going on. See this one again, the world's largest slum. Notice the high rise buildings in the background. बैकग्राउंड में बड़ी बड़ी बिल्डिंग्स है बच्चों, पर यहाँ पे आप देखिए झुग्गी झोंपड़ियाँ, स्लम एरियाज है धारावी बॉम्बे के अंदर की. ये हम कंडीशन पिक्चराइज यहाँ पे कर रहे हैं. एंड सम पार्ट्स ऑफ इंडिया and some groups of Indians have benefited a great deal from economic development. It's okay, India is going on, India's betterment is going on, but still only and only some groups of Indians got benefit from all these developments. So they live in large houses and dine in expensive restaurants, send their children to expensive private schools and take expensive foreign holidays also. क्या क्या बदलाव हो रहे थे देखिए. अभी तक हमारे इंडिया में जो पुअर क्लास है वो स्लम एरिया में रह रही है, एंड जो अपर क्लास है जो इकोनॉमिकली बहुत ही साउंड है, दैट लिव्ड इन द लार्ज हाउसेज विद द expensive restaurants, expenditure with the children who had expensive private schools teaching for them and expensive foreign holidays. They tripped for foreign holidays also, and foreign holidays is not a easy one to everyone. So only and only our economic development held between the some parts of the public. At the same time, many others continue to live below the poverty line. और हम क्या देखते हैं, अभी भी जहाँ एक तरफ एक्सपेंसिव हाउसेस हैं, एक तरफ एक्सपेंसिव हॉलीडे ट्रिप्स है, एक तरफ उनके लिए बहुत अच्छा प्राइवेट स्कूलिंग सिस्टम है, महंगे महंगे रेस्टोरेंट्स है, बट स्टिल वी हैड मैनी पीपल्स हु लिव्ड under poverty lines, below poverty lines. So housed in urban slums or living in remote villages on land that yield little, they cannot afford to send their children to school. So this problem arises. What about the schools? It's okay in urban slum areas also, in the remote villages also, at present also the condition is very critical. No persons hold the expenditure on the students to send them. जी हाँ, वो अपने बच्चों को, अपने खुद के चिल्ड्रंस को एज ए स्टूडेंट स्कूलों में भेजने के लिए बिल्कुल भी सक्षम नहीं हैं. The Constitution recognizes equality before the law, but real life some Indians are more equal than others. So at present also the dreams of our Constitution not comes in formation, because at present also equality before law is there, but in real life some only and some only Indians had a great life, but others were not equal. Others are not totally equal at present also than others. Judged by the standards it set itself at independence, the Republic of India has not been a great success. हम अभी भी कहते हैं कि हम एक गणतंत्र देश में रहते हैं, but what happened? Still many people are living below poverty line. Still many people had not a great success with them, and it has not been a failure either. अगर हम ये कहें कि ये सब हमारे नेगेटिव पॉइंट्स हैं इंडिया के लिए, but still we are not failure for the free nation. We are not failure on the basis of development, on the basis of successful life in Indians. So many things running side by side, but the main aim is still we are in one nation, still we are progressive. It's okay, it takes a time, but we are progressive. Still the poor class is also aware for the education of their children. So this one is the important chapter of our history. Let's read the question answer session in our next part. Stay with us. Have a nice day.